What's up, everybody? It's Lee Shush and K9 Training here, back with another protection training video with my 1 year and 10-month-old working line German Shepherd Onyx. And of course, as usual, I'll be explaining some of the stuff that's going on. So today we're doing a little bit something different with Onyx, and we're going to be doing some dual line leash work with him. And right now we're simulating a bark and hold, which is why we got the gates in place. And of course, after so many barks, that's when Rob, which is our helper and our trainer, he'll give Onyx the bite after so many barks. So the other guy that's holding the leash for me is James. And as I mentioned, we're doing some dual line leash work for the first time with Onyx. So the point of this is because, I have the leash that's connected to his harness, and James has the leash that's connected to Onyx's prong. That way he can correct Onyx when needed. So right now, since we're doing a bark and hold, we're gonna let Onyx basically figure things out on his own. That way he can learn. So I have to have a little bit of slack with my leash connected to the harness, which is what James was telling me because I didn't know. So I definitely appreciated his help. But I have to have a little bit of slack. That way I'm not constantly pulling him back when he goes to do the bark and hold with Rob. And James is there to correct Onyx with the prong in case he sneaks any bites in with the wedge before Rob gives him the green light to bite. And of course, we are also using the prong to correct any unnecessary barking and whining when we have him in his relaxed position. So this is all secondary obedience that we're adding to Onyx after a little while now. And so you see us trying to get him under control, get him to relax. And James was telling me after this session, which is the guy that's holding the other leash, instead of me kind of shouting at Onyx to relax, I should instead kind of say it in a calm manner. And the reason why I was shouting in the first place, which you might not be able to hear too much over this voiceover, but the reason why I was shouting was because I wanted to be louder than what Onyx's barks was. That way he could hear me. But James was telling me that I'll only rile him up or get him riled up even more. So just tell him to relax in a calmly manner. So right here, you seeing James using the prong a little bit. And that's, like I just said, he's doing that to kind of keep Onyx back. I have to have slack in my leash connected to the harness, which is what you see James helping me with. And over time, throughout this video, I'll learn. But, it's really for Onyx to figure out a bark and hold is for him to bark at the helper, but to not take any sneaky bites on the sleeve until it's time for him to. So right there, you see James using the prong, and that's because Onyx got a little bit too close to Rob. So it's more than many. It's always more than one way to get a hold of things and to train things. But this is just one of the many ways to train a bark and hold. And we weren't necessarily focusing on. Well, of course, you're always focusing on the grip when a dog is biting on the wedge or the sleeve. But that wasn't necessarily the main focus. Today's main focus, which is what you can see here, is to just get Onyx to learn these bark and holds, because that'll be what he's doing a lot in an actual shush and trial, especially when we send the dogs into a blind. If you go watch a shush and trial on YouTube, or if you go to one physically, you send the dog into the blind, and of course they had to do a bark and hold to hold the helper there until the handler comes and releases the dog. So right here we did I believe an escape bite. Yep, that was an escape bite. This session wasn't too long. It's a little bit shorter, but right here Rob instructed me to hand him the sleeve. And as you can see, Onyx is being a little bit mouthy, and James is correcting him. But of course, he'll learn over time to be relaxed. And as I mentioned a few seconds ago, this is all secondary obedience stuff. Secondary obedience, from what I've seen and from what I was told by my trainer, is not that easy to train, because the dog is already in a very hyper state in this, in protection training. So you're getting the dog. You want the dog to be in, of course, a state of drive and a state of pursuit and stuff like that. But at the same time, you also have to teach the dog to be calm with all of this. This is a quick escape bite. But yes, you also have to teach the dog to be calm with all of this as well. So that's secondary obedience that we're, finally showing Onyx to. So, of course, over time, he'll get better with a lot of that stuff as we continue to progress with some of this secondary obedience during our protection training phases with Onyx. And the mouthy stuff that he's doing, it'll take a little while for him to get used to not doing that. But, of course, that's what we have James for, to correct him with the prong. And James was a big help today, but in the future, I'll have to learn to hold both leashes, in case of a scenario where I might be the only one with my trainer that day. And, of course, my trainer can't hold the second leash because he's the helper for Onyx right now. So, anyways, this video is getting ready to wrap up. This was Onyx's first time doing a protection training session with dual line leash work. And as I mentioned, dual line leash work is basically two people holding the leash, one on the prong and one on the harness. And this was a long bite right here. And I believe we're going to do one more long bite, and this video is going to get ready to wrap up. So right here, you see me calmly petting him just to get him in a more calmer state and just to get him to relax a little bit more. Because, for young dogs, this can stress him out. And, of course, he'll be 2 in April, so this is a fully grown adult dog. But, of course, he has to mature mentally a lot as well. So he could be a bit stressed out at times, but he is enjoying it. And, yeah. So anyways, catch you guys later.